Hi, welcome to Paul's Movie Collections. While critics argue about the characteristics of every film genre, there are some generally accepted categories and styles of classic films. Here's what to expect from movies made in some of the classic film genres. Now, the first category we're gonna talk here is film noir, meaning black movie in French. Hollywood's film noir period spanned the early 1940s to the late 1950s. Visually black and white film noir used dark shadows and moody dimly lit scenes. The plots combine crime, eroticism, and violence among deeply flawed men and women in morally ambiguous situations, often drawn from hard-boiled crime fiction or depictions of social problems such as gambling or alcoholism. Now, some of the examples of film noirs are given here, which is a must-watch. Screwball comedies. Named for a physics-defying baseball pitch, screwball comedies put likable characters in ridiculous situations where they behave like screwballs, erratic and unpredictable. They rely on contrast, rich versus poor, brainy versus dizzy, powerful versus powerless, and above all, male versus female. The early screwball comedies often features superficial rich people brought down to earth by the more noble and sensible ideas of the common man. The best are marked by smooth sophistication and witty dialogue on top of plain old physical comedy. You can check out some of the screwball comedies listed here. Science fiction and fantasy. One of the most varied and enduringly popular genre, sci-fi and fantasy films sometimes hew closely to the underpinning of scientific reality and are sometimes works of pure imagination. Going back to one of the earliest silent films, A Trip to the Moon, the movies have explored space and time travel, alternate universe and realities, the microscopic world, the terrors of science run amok, and the future of humanity on Earth and among the stars. They've brought us mad scientists, alien invasion, and monsters from Godzilla to the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. For a great early film, try The Time Machine or Forbidden Planet. Epics and sagas. Ambitious and costly movies, epics peaked in the 50s and the 60s with films like Cleopatra and Ben-Hur. Epics span genres and often tackle sprawling wartime stories, great historical events, or multi-generational family sagas. There are epic westerns like Once Upon a Time in the West and epic biographies such as The Private Life of Henry VIII, made with enormous cast and city-side sets before digital effects rendered the need for actual people moot. Most of the great epics would be prohibitively expensive today, perhaps even the old-time box office champ Gone with the Wind. B-movies. The term B-movie started out as a very straightforward definition. The B-movie was simply the second half of a double bill at the theater or drive-in. Such films were made on a shoestring budget, with little-known stars, and were often cheesy teen melodramas, sci-fi, horror, or monster movies. In later years, the term has come to mean any low-budget, schlocky movies made with B-list stars. Although many of them transcend the genre and are enjoyable, well-made films, and some of them are so bad they laugh out loud funny. Now, let's talk about my favorite genre, which is movie musicals. At their peak in the 30s, 40s, and 50s, movie musicals became popular when some of the first talkers included musical numbers and dance routines. Movie musical styles included Busby Berkeley's Gold Diggers, reviews with scantily clad showgirls, light romances with hoofers like Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers, as well as films of musical comedies and dramas first staged in live theatre. And of course, Classic Disney animated films are often musicals as well. Take a look at Fred and Ginger in Top Hat, Gene Kelly's effortless charm in Singing in the Rain, or the animated Snow White. Westerns. A quintessentially American art form, westerns tell the story of the sprawling American frontier with the iconic characters of the West: cowboys, gunslingers, bandits, ranchers, tycoons, saloon keepers, flusses, settlers, Indians, and the military men. They span every genre. There are silent westerns like The Great Train Robbery, singing cowboys like Gene Autry, musical westerns like Pinto Wagon, western spoofs like Cat Ballou, and spaghetti westerns made in Europe, like Sergio Leone's The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Early westerns tend to idolize the settlement of the West, but as the popularity of the genre declined in the 70s, films took a more jaundiced view of the treatment of the American Indian and violence of the Old West. Biographies, often called biopics, these movies tell the stories of saints and sinners, inventors and idealists, geniuses and generals, presidents and peasants, the real-life figures who shaped world history, always told with a point of view. Biographies often generate controversy and have been known to play fast and loose with the facts. I've mentioned few biographical movies which I feel are a must-watch. Please like and subscribe to my channel if you like the video. Thank you very much for watching.